going on, guys? Jeff here with another video. It's been a while since I made a video for my channel. Today I have an order for a law enforcement flag. It's going to be the black with the blue stripe. It's going to look kind of like this. That's a really old flag that I did. I didn't even put protective coat over it because it was one of my first ones. So now I just use it kind of as a reference for me to look at it and kind of gauge my paintings to make sure I don't get it wrong or something. So that's kind of what it's going to look like. I like to think I've improved a little bit. Some of you may think it looks pretty good, but of course I noticed flaws in it. Some of the stars are cut a little too deep compared to the other ones. Things like that. I can see some lines where I put my razor blades right here. So anyways, we're over with that. So for those of you who are new, all I did was cut my wood down 1.5 inches long by 37 long. You'll need 13 pieces of wood to get it done, and then just cuts. Then I usually don't cut my back slices until I'm done, because each time I find it's a little shorter or longer when I end up getting this completely done. So what I'll do is I'll usually just measure now to see how long it is. So theoretically it should be, if you're cutting each one 1.5 inches, it should be about, I think that adds up to 19.5. So, but of course you can never get it perfect. So I'm actually a little bit shy. Don't know how that happened, but it still always turns out pretty good. But if you look, we're like perfectly 1.5 inches. Somewhere I cut them a little bit short, but that's okay. It usually still turns out really good. So that's just my point as to why I usually cut my back strips a little bit later. So gonna get to painting, and I'll show you guys what paint I'm using for this project. All right, so we accidentally forgot a step. It's important that you clamp it up. The union side needs to be flush. These sides don't really matter so much right now, but this does, because if you don't and they're a little bit different, when you go to glue it up, your stripes are gonna be a little bit off. So then you just draw a line down just like this. You'll need the first 7 pieces of wood. So now we'll get into razor blading. All right, so I got everything razor bladed, and I removed the 2 stripes that are gonna be white to set on the table, and I'm talking about these 2 down here, the 2 white ones. And then I have this all razor bladed so I can paint it black. The color I use is by Minwax. I use a semi-transparent true black. You don't gotta get it mixed or anything, it's just something that you can buy straight off the shelf. Works pretty good. It's really liquidy though, so use that as caution. So I'm gonna hope I can do this without making a mess. I didn't put cardboard down. Probably gonna put some on the floor actually, just in case. And then we're just gonna go for it here and use a little bit because it goes a long ways. And I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. All right, so I've got the black all painted on there. However, there's a little bit of a problem that I ran into, and I didn't really think about it until I started doing it. So when I painted these, I painted in black, and something to consider that I realized right as I painted it was like, oh man, you see that knot right there? Well, that's perfectly okay, and it looks really cool in your wood. Like that right there is perfectly okay. And if that was over there, I probably wouldn't think anything. But something to consider is that you might have to engrave your star right there, because that's within my union. And sometimes those knots might actually pop out. So, you know, it's kind of a risk and reward kind of thing. I personally don't think I'm gonna risk it, because I would be super mad if I glued all this up and then I went to carve and that popped out. So I think I'm actually gonna remove that one, and I'm just gonna make another stripe right there, which is kind of unfortunate because I already painted. Now I gotta see if it's gonna fit right. But hey, these are part of the errors you run into. So learn from my mistakes and make sure you try and avoid knots in your union side. So get this removed and get it painted up. All right, so again, I'll completely paint it up here. God, I can't find my words. So the color I use for blue is Minwax as well. I use a semi-transparent navy blue. That's the color I'm using on this one. I think it looks really good. Some other tips that I like, and this is all down to preference about this part. I don't burn no more the blue stripe. What I find is when you burn it, and I'll show you an example here, it makes it darker. And you want this to be a lighter blue because it's against these two black stripes. If you have patches of black in there, it's almost gonna look too dark, and it blends really well with these black stripes. So you won't really see it as good. So again, that comes down to preference. You can do a light burn. I personally don't burn no more because I think when you zoom out a little bit, you could see it a lot better, as opposed to like here. Don't get me wrong, it's in the shadow a little bit and you can see it in person, but I burned that one and you could see it's pretty hard to see up against that black stripes. So take that for what you will. I'm gonna let this dry and then I'm gonna burn these stripes for sure a little bit. I don't even bother burning the black. This flag is really easy to do because you have the least amount to do because of the black stripes. So I just paint it black. You're not gonna see the burn anyways. So paint it, and then I'm gonna burn these little stripes a little bit, and then we'll get it clamped up, and then we'll be going to the union. So pretty smooth process, guys. And another little tip, make sure you do your ends. Make sure you paint those. Make sure you paint the bottom on each side. And be careful not to paint your dog when he's out here. Look up here. He is a German short hair pointer and he sees something that he doesn't like, probably a piece of sawdust, and he's frozen solid. So, all right, thanks. I'll get you guys in the next portion of the video. All right, so here we have it. I definitely skipped a couple steps in the video here, but really not hard to do. If you watch my other videos, I can show you how to do it, but it turned out really good. These are just my headphones I use while drumming. Dremel torch. I did a review on that torch. You guys check that out. It's a really good torch. But yeah, this one turned out really good. So again, I really like not burning this blue stripe. Makes it look a lot better. And then I burned the back too. Hold on a sec. I can only do this with one hand. So yeah, I burned the back and add some little hardware with some of this wire stuff, so it can hang for the person, and I add my social media on there. But yeah, looks really good. And then I add the polyurethane protective coat. Overall, really happy the way it turned out. Hope you guys like it. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna try and make some more of them from here and there. So thanks again. See you guys next time.